Hi there, everybody. This is lesson 511. It's about sine and cosine. Before we get to sine and cosine, let's recall what we've learned over the past few days. We know that in a right triangle, the ratio of the opposite side to the adjacent side is called the tangent. So the tangent of angle A in this triangle is the opposite side over the adjacent side. And we can use that to solve problems like this. Say we have 60 degrees. We know this side is 10 and this side is x. So we know that the tangent of 60 degrees has to equal the opposite side, 10. 10 is the side that's opposite 60, over the adjacent side. And adjacent just means next to. It's the side that's next to the 60. The opposite over the adjacent. So that has to equal 10 over x. You can use your calculator to figure out what the tangent of 60 is. 60, oops. And then tangent. And we see that is about 1.732 and some more decimal places. Then we turn that 1.732 into a fraction by putting it over 1. Then you cross multiply. 1 times 10 is 10. And then 1 times 0.732 times x. 0.732x. Divide both sides by 1.732. And you get x is about 5.8. So again, this is a way we can use tangent to find a missing side in a right triangle. When Pythagorean theorem, or the other tool that we have, isn't possible because we don't know two of the sides. There's two sides we don't know. So we couldn't use Pythagorean theorem. We can, however, use tangent. But so let's say we have this triangle. Here we got this angle is 20 degrees. We know this side is x and this side is 12. Well, we don't have the opposite and the adjacent side anymore. We have the opposite side and the hypotenuse. So this isn't tangent. This is actually another ratio called the sine. And up here, the sine of angle A, here's this angle right here, is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. This is another ratio that we can use to solve for missing sides in right triangles. So here we would say not the tangent but the sine of 20 degrees is equal to the opposite side, x, over the hypotenuse, and that's 12. Again, we can't use tangent here because we don't know this adjacent side, and we're not looking for it either. Now, sine of 20, just like for tangent, you have to use your calculator to figure out what the sine of 20 is. So in my calculator, I'll hit 20 and then sine. Some of your calculators, you'll have to hit sine and then 20. Just make sure you know how to do that on your calculator. In fact, if you have your calculator with you, you should take it out and make sure that you can get the sine of 20 being 0.342. And if you can't, make sure you talk to me tomorrow in class so that I can fix your calculator. Because if you can't get 0.342, you will never get the right answer on these problems. From here, the process is similar. Make a fraction out of this by putting it over 1. Then we do 1 times x is x. And then we do 0.342 times 12, which I'll calculate here. and that is about 4.1. So that is this missing side over here at 4.1. Let's look at another one. So let's say we had this triangle. We know this angle is 50 degrees. Let's say this side is 15, and we want to know this side. Well, again, we can't use tangent because although we know the adjacent side, we don't know the opposite side. So we can't use tangent to find x. Tangent has nothing to do with the hypotenuse. And we can't use sine either. Sine is the ratio of the opposite side over the hypotenuse. But again, the opposite side we don't know. We know the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. And actually, the ratio of those, the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, is this other ratio, and it's called cosine. And on your calculator, you'll see a button that says COS, and that's the cosine button, and that's how you figure out what that ratio is. So in this problem, we would say the cosine of 50 degrees equals, now cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent side to this 50-degree angle is 15, and the hypotenuse is x. So we'll put 15 over x. And from here, it's very similar to what we've been doing in the past. We figure out the cosine of 50 with your calculator. Let me do that again. 50, and then cosine. Looks like it is 0.642 and some more decimal places. Equals 15 over x. Then again, the process is the same. We put that over 1, and you cross multiply. 1 times 15 is 15. And we got 0.642 times x. Divide both sides by 0.642. Let's say we want to do 15 divided by 0.642 and all those decimals. We hit equals, and we get that x is about 23.3. So those are the two new ratios, sine and cosine. We'll work on this some more in class tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye.